In the blink of an eye, your whole life can change. There's so many moments of defining moments. That 4-inch line in the middle of a road, it can change everything. We have with us today Reggie Shaw. Reggie, I want to take us back in time, September 22nd, 2006. There was a defining moment where going down the middle of the road, that line that's only 4 inches big, you crossed that line. What happened?
Yeah, I was 19 years old. I left my house for work, and I made a choice to do something that I did almost all the time I got behind the wheel of the car. I made a choice to use my cell phone, and I was sending and reading text messages, and I went across that center line, and coming the other way were two men, James Fafaro and Keith Odell, and looked down on my phone, go across the line, hit their car, and their car swung behind me and was struck again, and both men were killed on impact.
The car doing the texting was going this direction. The two Thicol engineers were heading out this way, and as they passed, they brushed each other, which spun the little blue car with the Thicol engineers, spun it around this way into the path of an oncoming pickup. The two people that were killed were inside the blue car. This other one shows what the car looked like after the accident.
Powerful moment, a defining moment that any one of us could face. It's not just about texting. I mean, we all have had distracted moments in our life. We're in a distracted world. And these two guys coming, I read the book that your story is in, A Deadly Wandering by Matt Richtel, and the guy behind you, the truck driver, Mr. Kaiserman, he was watching you wander back and forth across that line, and he kind of had a premonition. He's like, man, nothing good is going to happen here. And but what happened from that moment, you know, there was an accident, 2 lives are gone, you're being charged, and you went through a long period of time where you were denying that you were texting. What was I can't even imagine, number one, what went on in your mind on impact. Talk about that first, and then what was going on when you were in that denial phase.
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of take you back to that day, I mean, the weather was bad.
It was early in the morning.
It was early in the morning.
You
know, there was a lot going on, and you know, at 19 years old, back in 2006, I'd use my cell phone all the time when I drove. I'd never almost been in an accident, never had a close call, and
so there was nothing that got your attention before this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And you know, I never make excuses for the choice that I made, but it was something that wasn't talked about.
And it was a norm.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much a norm.
Absolutely. And so for me, initially it was, well, how could a cell phone cause an accident? I mean, the road's bad. I went to the left. I went over the line. It makes sense to me that I hydroplaned, and I couldn't make the connection between the two myself. And you know, I struggled for a long time right after the accident, and it wasn't until going into court that a man by the name of Dr. Strayer from the University of Utah, he came into court, and you know, he talked about how when you use your cell phone, he calls it inattention blindness, that for on an average of about 15 seconds, you can be blind to what's going on around you, that your brain can't regain focus. And that initially kind of got my wheels going, and helped me realize that, you know, it was my cell phone. My brain wasn't there. I was not focused. I was not paying attention. And then, you know, sitting there in court, I look over on one side of the courtroom, and I see my family sitting there together, and I look on the other side of the courtroom and I see these two men's families. And I see the struggle that they're going through every day. And I did that. I caused that. And it had become clear that there was absolutely no doubt that I did that with my cell phone. And I needed to do the right thing. And that's when I came forward and said, yes, this is what happened. I was on my phone. That is what caused this accident.
I read that, and I heard that story as well. And when I read that, that was such a powerful thing for me to read. I mean, you have to know the change, the ripple effect of you saying that out loud. Because I think there are so many, all of us, not just young kids, but all of us who are distracted. You know, whether we're putting on makeup, we're eating, we're parenting our children, the blink of an eye, you know, even talking and your hands are still at 10 and 2, even hands-free communication. If you're in a distracted conversation, your brain's over here, and it is not on the events, especially in you know, inclement weather. You have all kinds of things going on. You have to be attentive, and your message is so powerful. But that moment when you said, yeah, I'm going to own up to this, I think it's such an amazing example for our generation coming up to go, there's power in that. You know, what happened to you after that when you admitted that defining moment for you?
Well, you know, first of all, using my phone was a choice that I made, and you know, technology is an addiction, and you know, I at the time couldn't separate my addiction with my phone and my driving, and that's the decision that I regret. That's what I regret, and once I really fully made the connection of how dangerous this is, and I came forward. I mean, it didn't make what I did easier. I still struggled, you know, and
right.
You know, we went to court and we worked out a plea in abeyance with the families, and one of those things would be that I did community service, which would be going out and speaking to youth groups, and I went out and I began doing that, and it was very difficult for me to share this story over and over and over. But the thing that I realized is that, especially then, that people needed this message. They needed to hear it, and I couldn't go back and change what I did, no matter how bad I want to. But the only thing that I can do is go and hope that I can impact other people. And so, going forward from that day, that's been my goal, is that someone can hear my message, hear of the mistake that I made, and say, I don't want to do that, and put their phone away and eliminate distractions when they drive.
Right, and 10 years, I mean, it's been a long journey. I think also the message, it's not just about setting your phone aside, it's really understanding this addiction, you know, how the brain functions, you know, when it comes to being able to set your phone aside. It is a challenge for a lot of us. I mean, to just turn it off, set it aside, let it wait, you know, until you get to your destination. That's really a powerful message, and now they have scientific background, you know, that really backing that really shows this is truly going on in the brain, and you're delivering that message. What has changed since you started this campaign?
You know, I mean, for me personally, you know, it's been a help to me. It's almost been a release for me to go and talk to others and help other people. You know, nationally, there's been a lot of new campaigns. There's been a lot of pledges. There's been a lot more laws. I mean, you go back to 2006, and there were really no laws
against
I was just gonna say that. Distracted driving, texting and driving, using your phone and driving, and the amount of laws that have come forward in the last 10 years, it's amazing.
Right, and there's one of the pledges that's going on with AT&T right now. It Can Wait campaign, right? Which is itcanwait.com.
Yeah.
So, and people are pledging what?
Yeah, so on itcan'twait.com, you can go on there and you can pledge. You can pledge for yourself. You can pledge to your friends, to your family, that you will not text when you drive. That you will put the phone away when you drive, and it's it's reached over 7 million people already.
That is so powerful, and I think really as a parent, for your children to see you do that, because they watch what you do. You can say, yeah, don't do this, but if you're doing it, even slightly, I get in my car after I went to a deadly wandering. I shut my phone off in my car. It changed, not just that I wasn't texting or wasn't looking at my phone. I shut it off just so it wouldn't be on my mind and a distraction. And I think it's just such a powerful, powerful message. Is there something more that you hope to do with this campaign?
I just hope to continue. It's not worth it. These accidents are happening every day around the country, and the thing that's so hard for me going back to my accident is that it was preventable, and it was simple. It was easy. Had I turned my phone off when I drive,
right,
had I put it away, I'd have saved these two men's lives. And these preventable accidents happen every day, and I just hope going forward that we can just reach more and more people, and that people will commit to this, because it's not worth it.
Right, and I really love one thing that you say often in your speeches is that you're not that different than so many people out there. I mean, you had your whole life kind of ahead of you. You were an athlete, you had a lot going on, you were heading to work, you're a successful person, you never had a close call, you're a safe driver. This is a blink of an eye moment that can happen so easily. It could be anybody in that driver's seat, and it could be anybody in that passenger seat as well, coming the other direction in the other car. So I really love that you're making a normal message, heard from a normal guy, that's a product of something that happens. What parting words would you have for the community, for kids out there at large?
To kind of build on what you just said, I mean, you are not special. You are not the exception. You are not the one who can drive distracted and be safe. It's not worth it. No message, no phone call is worth your life or someone else's life. And if you continue to make the choice to use your phone when you drive, that's a decision that I know that you will regret for the rest of your life. And if you choose not to, you choose to put your phone away, that's a decision that you won't regret. And that's a decision that I can promise is worth it.
Stupid.
Hey, do you want me to pick anything up?
You know what? I'll leave Mazzonis. I don't care.
Hey, all right.
Love you.
Love you.
Mommy, I forgot my crystal bracelet.
It's okay, sweetheart. It'll still be there when we get back. Everyone loves the picture I posted of you.
Well, I want to thank you so much, and if folks want to be involved, pledge, they can go to itcan'twait.com.
Yep.
And they can pledge there. So thank you so much. I know you're going to be speaking at Boise State University, and you're doing a lot of other campaigns nationally. So I would really love to follow up with you and see what's happened, what's changed, what further change you've been able to make out there nationally and in our own community. But thank you for bravely sharing your story. It's a powerful story. I really appreciate it.
That'd be great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.